Headlines for this hour on VTV News. Party chief urges a thorough preparation of Congress document. And efforts to remove unnecessary business conditions. And I warn you, Russia to respond to sanctions with action.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. The document subcommittee of the 14-party Congress convened its inaugural sessions on Friday morning at the party Central Committee headquarters. The meeting was led by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, who is also the head of the document subcommittee. Along with him, State President Võ Văn Thưởng, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ, and additional Politburo members were in attendance.
In preparation for the upcoming 14th Party Congress in early 2026, the 13th Central Committee's 8th plenum decided to establish 5 subcommittees. These include the Documents Subcommittee, which is responsible for preparing the political report and a summary report of 40 years of innovation. This subcommittee plays a crucial role in setting the stage for the 14th Party Congress. In the meeting, Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong highlighted the significance of the upcoming Congress. He noted it as a key political event at a critical point in the nation's history, and emphasized its importance as a milestone guiding the country's future direction. Meanwhile, preparations for the centennial anniversary of the party's establishment, which represents a century of national foundation, are also in progress.
The preparation of documents for the 14th Congress, particularly the pivotal political report, serves as the cornerstone guiding other Congress documents. It necessitates a scientific, rigorous, and methodical approach. Innovation in work methodologies must prioritize quality and faithfully reflect the nation's evolving landscape. Such endeavors are paramount to ensuring the Congress's success.
To ensure high-quality work, Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong urged the Documents Subcommittee to deeply understand and agree on guiding principles, ideological approaches, and operational methods. The primary requirement is unwavering commitment to principled guidance, consistent application and creative development of Marxism-Leninism and Ho Chi Minh's thought, firm pursuit of national independence and socialism, steadfast adherence to the party's innovation policy, and commitment to the principles of party building. Emphasizing that Congress documents are a collective intellectual endeavor, Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong highlighted the importance of promoting democracy and collective intellect. This should involve active contributions from central and local government departments, ministries, branches, socio-political organizations, and the public. Throughout the discussion process, listening attentively, respecting differing perspectives, pursuing truth collaboratively, and fostering high consensus, especially on new and challenging issues, are essential.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has signed a comprehensive and sustainable tourism development directive. Accordingly, the Prime Minister requests all levels, branches, localities, associations, and business to implement Resolution 08 of the Politburo and the directions of the government and the Prime Minister to promote the development of Vietnam's tourism. Ministry, branches, and localities need to further improve awareness of the position, role, importance, value, and effectiveness of the tourism industries, promote the responsibility of leaders, create big changes in public-private cooperation, and resolutely reduce and simplify administrative procedures. The Prime Minister requests the People's Committees of provinces and cities to strengthen state management and solve difficulties and obstacles in tourism development. A conference to appraise Hanoi's capital planning for 2021-2030 with a vision for 2050 was held in Hanoi on Friday. Politburo member Đinh Tiến Dũng, Secretary of Hanoi Party Committee, attended the event. During the planning process, Hanoi Authority asked for opinions from 21 ministries and central agencies, 15 provinces and cities in the capital city and Red River Delta regions, experts, scientists, and the residential community. Hanoi has identified 5 development pillars: culture and heritage, green development, circular economy, synchronous infrastructures, modern transportation, digital society, smart cities and digital economy, and science, technology, and innovations. Based on these options, the appraisals councils will research and finalize the planning documents for comments and submit them for approvals according to regulation. Businesses in Ho Chi Minh City have observed a positive trends in export orders for the first quarter of this year. The Department of Industry and Trade reports that numerous textiles, garment, and footwear businesses have orders extending until June. Some businesses even have orders spanning the entire year. These businesses have recommended production following the Tết holiday and anticipate a productive year.
To meet demand, this business has all its production lines operating in 2 shifts from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. They have orders lined up for the first half of the year. Although most of these orders are short-term, the number of partners has doubled. As a result, the business has made significant investments in new technology.
To meet customer requirements, we are building standard technology systems for the mass production of precise mechanical products. We are the first business to apply this technology in Vietnam.
Since the beginning of the year, this business has launched a series of new products to stimulate consumer demand.
There are new products with more affordable prices. Additionally, we've invested in the most advanced machinery and technology.
Our focus is on investing in high technology and introducing robots into production to enhance efficiency and labor productivity. We are also investing in the expansion of human resources and management systems.
As domestic and export orders rebound, many businesses in textiles, footwear, wood, and mechanics eagerly resume operations. In addition, cheap credit policies aimed at stimulating investment are anticipated to bring about breakthroughs in business production.
The government has requested ministries and agencies to review and propose cutting unnecessary, unfeasible, unclear, or unsuitable business conditions due to the urgent need for productions and business after the Tết holiday. They should also review and recommend the removals of conditional business guidelines that could be applied with more effective management measures before June 2024.
To regulate the market, veterinary drugs must have a certificate of conformity, which means an additional license. This regulation is considered unnecessary and costly for businesses since veterinary drugs have to meet higher standards than the GMP of the World Health Organization. But now, after many years, the new law still has not come into effect, and the delay period has just ended.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has drafted a circular to delay the regulation compliance time for another 5 years. We are waiting for that circular to be issued.
The veterinary medicine industry is entangled with unnecessary business conditions. Some industries, such as the gold jewelry and handicrafts industries, do not require any conditions and are also on the list of conditional business industries.
Gold jewelry production does not affect life, national defense, and security. So, the removal from the list of conditional businesses will reduce hurdles in the state's market management.
The government's goal for ministries and branches is to review and eliminate unreasonable business regulations by the second quarter.
It takes time to amend the law, but I think stopping the effectiveness of a decree or amending some provisions of decrees or circulars, in terms of legislative techniques, is entirely feasible in just a few months.
This year is pivotal for Vietnam's economy to make progress after the difficulties of the past 2 years. Improving the business investment environment is expected to have the strongest impact in recent years and provide the most support for accelerating the economy.
Gifted with an immense landscape and a farming-friendly climate, Localities in the Central Highlands have recently scaled up productions in a bid to forge a reputation in the agriculture product market. These attempts target specialty rice as their potential hit product in addition to coffee, pepper, and durian. In doing so, many locals have earned their way out of poverty.
Many Thai ethnic households brought specialty rice varieties to the Central Highlands. However, they all have been lost over time due to various factors until an initiative emerged 4 years ago. Local cooperatives have encouraged these households to revive their lost specialties and cultivate them using organic methods.
These varieties used to be unpopular, but now they're growing in demand as we have more farmable land. Our productivity and income also went up.
Along with some established rice varieties, the ST25, crowned as the world's best rice, is gradually becoming the new way of farming in this remote district. It gives hundreds of Serdunk ethnic households a chance to introduce a high-value product to the market.
After 2 years, people wanted to continue growing this seed to improve their livelihood.
High-quality raw grains are not the only current specialties of the Central Highlands. Many farmers have joined local cooperatives to create deep processed products from special rice products using more advanced technology.
Our group is an association of cooperatives, and we use each other's resources to create quality products that meet current demands.
Ethnic groups in the Central Highlands have turned their barren land into a new haven for specialty products. This has helped build a strong reputation, fulfilled export goals, and improved locals' incomes.
Coming up next on VTV News, Ministry of Industry and Trade launches hydrogen's energy strategy. And Vietnamese fresh pho noodles gain strong foothold in Japan. The Ministry of Industry and Trade held a conference in Hanoi on February 22nd to deploy Vietnam hydrogen's energy development strategies to 2030 with a vision until 2050. To effectively deploy the hydrogen's energy strategies, at the conference, Minister of Industry and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên requested ministries, central sectors, and localities to focus on key and urgent tasks, including updating the policies and operations set out in the strategies to adjust, supplement, and integrate into national and provincial sector plans, research and propose development, amendment, and supplementations of relevant legal documents, mechanisms, and policies, especially policies to encourage the use of hydrogen fuel for vehicles, equipment, and traffic infrastructures. The hydrogen energy strategies approved by the Prime Minister has opened up a new development segment for Vietnam's energy industries in a green, clean, and sustainable direction in accordance with the views and policies of the party and state as well as global development trends. Numerous administrative procedures have neither been reduced nor simplified in Vietnam. Progress in digitizing administrative procedures within ministries and branches remain low at less than 30%, despite the 100% target set in 2023. The data sharing bottleneck among ministries, branches, and localities has caused this issue. The Prime Minister emphasized this challenge as a key priority in Directive Number 04, urging urgent resolution. More to follow.
This woman attempted to renew her driver's license online in Hanoi. However, she encountered system crashes, often forcing her to repeatedly redeclare information. The process of attaching images and signatures also involved multiple steps.
After registering my profile, I received a notification prompting me to update it. However, I couldn't locate the fields requiring updates upon logging in. Consequently, I had to visit the office in person, resulting in wasted time once more.
Currently, 11 of 22 ministries and branches remain unlinked to the National Population Database. Consequently, many people encounter issues as the system consistently reports missing information. This impediment has resulted in an online public service utilization rate of only 30%.
We need to obtain a set of data standards from local ministries and branches for immediate implementation. Digitized procedures should be accompanied by suitable software. Failure to update the software could result in significant challenges for users of the online portals.
Experts suggest a system allowing individuals using online public services to voice their dissatisfaction and indicate the support they require from the system. This approach would enable application developers and managers to enhance the system more effectively.
We suggest implementing a mechanism so that when people use services, they can evaluate the quality of public services, thereby having more feedback channels with state management agencies.
Aside from the bottleneck in data sharing, there are 4 other significant bottlenecks: legal, technological infrastructure, security, and human resource limitations. Eliminating these will pave the way for breakthroughs in utilizing population data, creating numerous valuable services. This will bring tangible benefits to individuals and businesses, facilitating national digital transformation efforts.
Cooperation between Vietnam's K hospitals and Japan's Nagoya University hospitals has enabled Vietnamese doctors to successfully conduct surgical treatments of 4 digestive cancer patients using robot technology. After the surgery, all 4 patients' health was stable and they recovered well. Robotic surgery is a modern technique with minimal invasive helping patients minimize damage and recover quickly. Doctors can observe clear images as highly flexible robotic arms help surgeons operate accurately, remove cancerous tissues, and preserve the maximum amounts of healthy tissue. The 2 hospitals signed a memorandum of understanding to cooperate in research and training in robotic surgery, laparoscopic surgery, microsurgery, and plastic surgery in cancer surgery. Beginning February 25, 2024, military service enlistments will commence in localities, including hundreds of young women alongside eligible men. These young women, driven by faith, love, and wish to contribute, share the aspirations to wear the blue uniform. They embody the pioneering spirit of youth and their sacred duty to protect the nation.
After earning a bachelor degree in information library from Ho Chi Minh City University of Social Sciences and Humanities, Lê Thị Kiều Oanh discovered that Tây Ninh province was recruiting female soldiers. In response, she submitted a volunteer application to join the army.
I'm very happy and hope to serve in the Army for a long time and contribute to the protection of the homeland.
Learning that our daughter voluntarily applied for military service fills us with excitement and reassurance, knowing the military will foster her physical and mental growth towards maturity.
Inspired by Uncle Ho's soldiers since her childhood and encouraged by her grandfather and father, who both serve in the military, Trần Thị Phương Thảo from Quảng Trị is set to enlist soon. After university, the aspiring veterinarian has put her personal plans on hold to seize the opportunity to serve as a soldier.
Upon receiving the enlistment call, I was overjoyed. Last Tet, I visited my grandparents and friends to mentally prepare myself for military service. I'm ready to adapt to this new environment and will strive to excel in my assigned duties.
Although their personal dreams are temporarily paused, the journey ahead will instill in them the courage and enthusiasm to pursue their aspirations. These young women will soon develop strength, maturity, and confidence, excelling in their military roles.
In October 2023, the three-day Vietnamese Pho Festival was held in Tokyo, attracting tens of thousands of Japanese diners. There was a testament to the growing popularity of Vietnamese pho in the land of the rising sun. However, many diners point out the lack of original, sophisticated flavors of Vietnamese pho made in Japan. Facing the ordinary riddles of Fred Noodle Factory has emerged to supply the characteristic savory taste of Vietnamese pho noodles to a market that has grown accustomed to instant ones.
The rice grains are soaked and then ground using a stone mortar. The dough then sits overnight before being thin-rolled in a steam roller. The layers of noodles are kept dry and cut into strips before being cooled and packaged. A Vietnamese tour guide improvises the machine steps for Japanese visitors.
In 2019, I spent 5 years designing Japanese travel tours for Vietnamese tourists. I noticed many Vietnamese and Japanese diners complained that eating pho in Japan is not as the same in Vietnam. That's why I wanted to bring real fresh pho noodles to Japan.
Like many other pioneers in introducing pho to Japan, Phie had to solve problems concerning raw materials and differences in climatic conditions.
The rice can only be limited to 3 varieties to ensure the pho is not sticky and mushy, and Japanese rice is not one of them. I used to import Vietnamese rice, but now I can grow them on Japanese farms. Next, I have to improvise making noodles in Japan is a cold climate. I have to use Japanese heating machines so that the product has a long shelf life. The refrigeration system here can keep the products fresh up to 5 days, abolishing the need for daily production.
Phie's factory produces nearly 600 kilograms of pho noodles per shift. It supplies more than 40 Vietnamese pho restaurants across Japan.
Used dry pho, which lacked rich flavors. I can almost taste home again, since it was replaced with fresh pho. In the past, restaurants often used dry pho, which lacked rich flavors. I can almost taste home again, since it was replaced with fresh pho.
The best thing of all is to receive words of encouragement. I hope we can establish a unique branding for Vietnamese cuisine among Japanese diners.
Coming up next in our war news, Russia to respond to sanction with action. And South Korea to fully allow telemedicine at all hospitals. Russia will respond to new United States sanctions with action aimed at developing its economy and raising citizens' living standards. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made this statement during the G20 meeting of foreign ministers in Brazil. The decision came in response to implement impending actions packages imposed by the U.S. and several countries against Russia on the second anniversary of a special military operation in Ukraine. On Friday, the U.S. announced that it would impose sanctions on over 500 targets in Russia, including its military industrial complex and companies in third world countries that facilitate its access to goods. European Union members approved a 13 package of sanctions against Russia this week, banning nearly 200 additional entities and individuals. Earlier, the UK government announced an updated and expanded sanctions with a list against Russia, targeting ammunition and weapons manufacturers. South Korea Health Ministry will fully allow telemedicine services at all hospitals and clinics to help cope with the impact of a collective walkout of trainee doctors. The authority have also announced that it will provide financial support to hospitals to hire more temporary staff and maximize the use of public medical facilities. This marked the first time the South Korean government raised the state health alert to its highest level. Major hospitals have slashed the operation of surgery theaters to as low as 50% capacity, and a growing number of emergency patients have experienced postponement in treatments. This came as nearly 7,800 residents and intern doctors left their posts in protest over a government plan to expand medical schools admissions. The European Commission's EC on Thursday put forth a proposal to ease environmental requirements on farmers, streamline administrative processes, and reduce the frequencies of checks in a bid to appeal a local farmer protest. The most recent recommendations, which EU agriculture ministers will address on Monday, include lowering requirements for farmers, livestock producers to convert their farm to a grassland. To reduce the number of farmer visits by half, the Commission also plans to modify how on-site inspections operate. Farmers across the European Union made the proposals after protests and mass sellouts in opposition to the block green regulations and unfair competition from cheap imports. Hospital laboratories generally evaluate millions of blood cells for disease diagnosis every day. To reduce the workload for trained physicians, scientists around the world have developed an experiment with a new AI models that is capable of analyzing blood samples and identifying potential abnormalities. A report in Denmark.
Since the 1980s, Ivan Brandslund has been one of the front runners when it comes to making laboratories high-tech and efficient so that patients can get answers to their blood tests as quickly as possible. At the age of 76, he is behind a new project where artificial intelligence will assess blood samples from the laboratory.
Without being able to predict exactly, I would believe that it has the effect that people are cared for safely, and they are cared for faster and at a better level and with greater quality and at lower costs.
These hematology systems analyze blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, and anemia. It features two machines that simply screen samples for diabetes. This laboratory can run for 7 to 8 hours in the dark by itself and has a scanning capacity of 700 to 800 samples per hour.
We would like to have a reduction in the number of deaths by 10 to 20%. That is the one advantage, and that is the one I focus on as a doctor. But there is also another part of the Danish healthcare, which is about the economy and costs. And we would also like to have this save time for society and also for the patient. It is much faster to find out what is wrong with the patient and how he should be treated.
In addition to reducing manual labor, the medical AI model is believed to be able to assist inexperienced physicians in reaching the level of an expert and boost their work efficiency.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to vtvgo.vn or download a mobile application, VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.